Well, I'm sure many of you, like most of us, have been inundated with information on COVID-19 from international media reports or WhatsApp messages. And for some of us, now that a curfew is upon us, feelings of anxiety may now be creeping in as well. While joining us to talk about that now is therapist Harrison Thompson. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, Harrison.
Thank you for having me.
So Harrison, tell us, how do you deal with the anxiety of it all now that there are 4 cases and the possibility of increases?
Well, I think the most important thing here is to make sure that we manage the parts of this outbreak and pandemic that we are able to control, right? Because in any situation, there will be things that we can control and cannot control. We have to be mindful of how many things we are saturating our minds with, because a lot of information that is out there is not information that's going to help us find peace in our lives. We can only do what we can and nothing more.
And what are your thoughts on the curfew and the closure of certain businesses?
I think it's very essential. I think it's extremely important because, as we know, we are not necessarily in a crisis, but when you look at what is happening at our neighbors in the north, especially in Europe, we want to make sure that we get ahead of this curve. And I think that the Prime Minister has done a great job in shutting things down to the degree that he has, because we just cannot be too safe in something with, this far-reaching effects.
How do you think that this will affect relationships?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting because now we have families that are going to be home a lot more than they usually are. People are going to get to know one another, and unfortunately there may be a lot of conflict, but don't fear. We can take this thing easy, one day at a time. Breathe, let's reconnect, and let's use this opportunity to reconnect to those that we love truly.
And finally, what do people need to keep in mind if the curfew is extended?
Well, we always have to keep it in our mind that things are very unpredictable with this pandemic, and we cannot allow ourselves to get so comfortable that we allow our minds to adjust to this being until the end of this month. I'm urging Bahamians out there, take precautions, be proactive, allow yourself to get ready, not just for what is going on now, but for what may go on in the upcoming months.
Well, thank you so much, Harrison Thompson, for joining us, and that's definitely some good advice.